It's official, man. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., he can never go home. We all watched the guy. He left the Democrat Party, right? Because he realized that he wasn't going to get a fair shake. He saw that this was going to be the third consecutive fraudulent primary season for the Democrat Party. And he really does believe that Joe Biden has got to be stopped. Now, I kind of assume that after the election, once whatever happens, that he'd go back to being a Democrat. I mean, the guy's a freaking Kennedy. I mean, he is Democrat royalty. So that would make sense, right? But he can never go back. And he can never, ever, ever even think about going back because Robert F. Kennedy Jr. said something that can never be forgiven, never be forgotten by any Democrat anywhere. He said that he didn't think January 6th was a true insurrection. He thought that, I don't know, maybe he thought it was just a riot. He probably thought it was mostly peaceful. And now that he said that, he can never, ever come home.
Let us start with RFK Jr. So you are an expert in polling and focus groups. Who is he trying to, assuming that there is a strategy here, who is he trying to appeal to with these comments? And is it...
I hate to stop it so quickly, man, but come on, man. Listen to Jake Tapper. He is at least intelligent enough to know that that was not an insurrection. I mean, he knows that the fact that even as Joe Biden treats it like some holiday for democracy that only Democrats celebrate, that the federal government hasn't charged even one person for an insurrection, not even the guy that they say dog whistled it all into existence. But anyway, that's not my point. My point is, it's almost too much, man, to hear Jake Tapper ask about what strategy must be behind Robert F. Kennedy Jr. saying the same thing that every other thinking person on the entire planet would agree with. I mean, come on. These are not serious people.
Working at all.
Okay, so I just did 2 focus groups on RFK. I specifically did former Biden voters who were leaning toward RFK and Trump voters who were leaning toward RFK. And it's crazy because it's like a Rorschach test. He's such a wild card that the Dems will tell you they love his positions on conservation and the environment. He's really good on those. And Republicans will tell you they love the way he's beating up on Democrats as what they perceive to be a Democrat because his last name's Kennedy, and they love his position on being anti-vax. And so right now, and because he's a Kennedy, there's sort of, from the Dems, a sense of, well, he is a Democrat. And so he's pulling from both right now. But comments like this, ultimately, if I were Donald Trump, I would be very concerned that when voters become more educated on who RFK is, that he will pull much more from the MAGA anti-vax
you think
right.
so?
I do think so.
You think he's more of a threat to Trump?
Here's the thing. I think that anybody who splits the broad anti-Trump coalition is dangerous. And so if you ask me my preference, it would be that RFK wasn't in there. But I do think once Dems are done sort of educating people about this guy, he will take more from Trump than from Biden.
But this statement...
Pretty typical quiet part out loud stuff. She says, once the Dems are done educating people on this guy, she says, that's what she says. Her translation, if you're lucky enough to not speak fascist liberal, is once we beat enough people over the head with terms of anti-vaxxer and conspiracy theorists, then they should wise up. I mean, it's like, come on, man. Every time with these people, man, if you don't want to vote for Joe, well, just allow me to educate you. See, one guy, he's a conspiracy theorist, and this other guy, he will end democracy after you vote him in, democratically, of course. And Joe, 50 years of foreign policy experience, flown more miles than any Democrat in history or something like that, met with the Chinese president more than any other living person that's not now living in a Chinese work camp. And don't forget, he's compassionate, or he's a real people person. He's an adult in the room, a real uniter. I mean, it's insane. I think they believe this stuff. I know they expect you to believe it, but it is the same old play. Just the same old tired story, man. And I think the problem that the left is going to have, candidates like RFK, they aren't because people need to be educated. It's because people are getting educated. People have become educated. That's why these guys exist. But anyway, that's just my take, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you haven't already, be a part of our growth. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, share the channel. I'll see you in the next one.